Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a foldable bike from a company called Rattan. Rattan is what I call them. Hopefully I'm saying that right too. It could be Rattan, I don't know. So many bike names out there, I probably butcher about half of them. Anyway, these guys have been in the bike industry for over 10 years. They've got 5 models to choose from. The LM750 is their most expensive model at just over $1,200. Their cheapest one is about $800, so they're kind of in the more affordable price range for bikes. Now, I've reviewed 6 other brands in that price range of all-terrain foldable bikes between $1,000 and $2,000. This is on the low end, so let's see how it holds up, starting off with the speed test. Well, as you probably could have guessed, the 750 has a 750 watt motor in the rear wheel. It's hub drive, and that's powered with a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery that can be removed. It's actually under the seat here. There's a handle, so once you unlock it, you can just pull it out, charge it on the go, which takes 6 hours to do so. The bike is rated up to 23 miles per hour. It's got 5 pedal assist levels. The average speed for a bike in this price range hits about 25 miles per hour. So it is a little under the average speed. Let's see how fast it can go, starting on pedal assist level 1. Okay, this is the speed test. I've got a full battery, my speed app open, speed mode 1 first. Speed 1 is 8 miles an hour. Speed 2 is 10. Speed 3 is 13. Speed 4 is 15. And speed 5 is 20. Well, I didn't quite hit 23 miles per hour, but I got close. That was 20 for the top speed. And as I was cycling throughout the pedal assist levels, there's a dramatic increase in power between each level. Once I went from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, there's about a half a second delay while I'm pedaling before the power ramps up, and when it does, it gets going pretty quick. And I also thought there was a good spread between all pedal assist levels, something I like to see. Got a lot of variety in how fast you want to go between all 5 levels. Most bikes in this price range take 9 seconds to hit 20 miles per hour. It's time to find out how the 750 does. Now, it weighs the same as most other brands at 66 pounds, and it can also hold the same amount of 300 pounds. I'm gonna do 2 tests, the first on pedal assist 5 and then on throttle. Okay, this first test is gonna be on pedal assist 5, and I'm gonna start off on the first gear. Again, I've got a full battery and speed app open. So that power kicks in about half of a revolution and is actually pretty zippy. I'm already at 17, 18 miles an hour, 19. That's got a really good, strong acceleration, and I've already topped the bike out. That's fast, that's pretty awesome. This is the acceleration test with the throttle. Here we go. And the takeoff is pretty much immediate. The motor didn't like it though, kind of was grumbling at me. And it feels like the pedal assist is just a little bit faster. The takeoff on the pedal assist is, it's a little bit more delayed than the throttle, but it takes off pretty quick. And this is kind of struggling getting up to 20 miles per hour. It bounces back and forth between 19 and 20. I'm actually really impressed with how fast and zippy this is, especially on pedal assist. That's got a really good, strong acceleration. The 750 has a range rating of 60 to 80 miles. I kind of laugh at that. I've never got anywhere close to that. Most bikes in this price range get anywhere from 15 to 30 miles. So there is a large spread. And most of those brands I did test on a paved road. Just the last couple brands I've brought out here to the desert. So there is going to be a little difference as far as range from off-road to paved road riding. Excuse yourself, I'm trying to film here. This is going to be all off-road. It's got the off-road tires, even though it's one of these foldable bikes, still going to take it into the desert. I've got a full battery, and I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between pedal assist 4 and 5. To be honest, most of it's going to be standing up using the throttle. That's what I usually do. So let's see how far I can go. Come on, Viva. The 750 has the same type of design as all the other foldable fat bikes. This one has a smaller frame though, and the frame does come in 3 colors, green, gray, or black. Most of these types of bikes have a rear rack. This is the first one I've seen that actually has a seat. So if you wanted to take your child on a little bike ride, you can do that. And another difference is the adjustable kickstand, which is a small thing, but they're doing a little bit to make their bike stand out. Now, if you put the handlebars all the way down and then collapse them, which just fold down to the side of the frame, and then the frame folds in half, the pedals collapse as well. They fold up or down. It can get small enough to where you can fit in the back seat of a car. Well, as far as geometry and comfort, this being a foldable, collapsible bike, you can adjust it to fit how you like it. It has a rider size of 5'3" up to 6'4". Now I'm 5'11", and I've got the handlebars adjusted about halfway up, so it's got a wide range of the type of rider it can fit. Now the balance of the bike is a little bit off, especially with the battery underneath the seat. All of the weight is on that back end. And so when you're climbing hills, and I mentioned this before, it's pretty hard to do that. You really have to lean forward to keep that front wheel from popping up. The handling when going fast, just being, you know, up off the ground a little bit more, and with the weight distribution, it's just not the best. Usually there's some type of shaking or squeaking or rattling, especially with all the pieces and parts that fold down and collapse. And that's not the case with this bike. It is incredibly quiet, and there's very little noise with the motor. It's just quietly doing its job, which is the best type of motor. Don't even want to know it's there. Well, let me dive into the details of the bike. The handlebar length, a little bit short for my liking, and they do rise up about 2 inches. They've got a slight rise to them. There's wingtip grips, and they are pretty cheap feeling, not the most comfortable, but they don't move at all, which I like. I've tried pretty hard to turn them, and they are stationary, so they've done a good job of gluing those in place. The brake levers are also pretty cheap feeling, and they actually wiggle about 1/4 inch, which is a little concerning. It's got a Shimano SIS 7-speed shifter. Haven't had any problems or issues with that. That is very quick and smooth. And then there's a Shimano Acera derailleur. There's nothing really special about the saddle. Pretty standard. Looks like it's just their own brand. They make that in-house. The 750 has a front fork steel suspension. I'm not sure what the travel on that is. There was no rating online, but I've yet to bottom out on that, so that is a good sign. And if I had to compare it to the other brands, I would say it's above average. It's a pretty good suspension for a bike in this price range. The biggest feature that separates this from its competitors is the seat post suspension. Any type of suspension you can add in the rear of a bike is just gonna make a big difference. And it's got a good amount of travel. I'm not sure what the rating is. They didn't post that or have that online either, but just from bouncing around on this trail, I'm going down 1 inch or 2, if not more. It's one of the better seat post suspensions I've felt. And last but not least, it's got some pretty decent tires. They're CST BFT 20x4-inch fat tires, and they're pretty knobby. They've got great traction, more of a spendy tire for bikes in this class. Well, this is a slight predicament here. Here's the trail. There's a small stream, and there's the other trail. So I don't think I'm gonna have enough power to get through there. The battery is almost dead. Here we go. Well, it's kind of warm today. Oh, that's slippery. Woo, that's cold. That is cold. Okay. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh man, that's cold, but also a little refreshing. Well, the range test did not go as planned. So I remember these guys telling me when they sent out the bike that they're going to have a new LCD screen. And I think I know why they're doing that. On the screen here, it shows a full, complete battery. But just a couple minutes ago, my battery died. So now I know why they're going to switch to another screen. Now, as far as the range test, that does put me at a small disadvantage. I had to call in reinforcements to come pick me up because I am not by my truck. My tracking app recorded over 11 miles with almost 1,000 feet of elevation gain. And what's interesting is the battery actually has a level readout. And before I started the test, I actually pushed to see what it registered, and there was 2 out of the 3 bars. Usually, in my experience, they're not that accurate, so I just ignored it when I saw the full battery life on the screen. I guess I should have paid attention. So basically what we can conclude, for 2/3 of the battery, I got almost 12 miles. So 1/3 of the battery gives you 6 miles. If I would have had a full charge, I'm thinking I probably could have got 18 miles with the type of riding that I was doing, which was pretty steep. I mean, that's a lot of elevation gain, 1,000 feet or close to 1,000 feet, which is fantastic. That's a fantastic range. That's even better than the other bike that I reviewed about a week ago. And that's by far the best range, the best elevation gain that I've had for a bike in this price range. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what this bike can do for off-road riding. I want to give you guys an idea of how sensitive the pedal assist and throttle are. The throttle takes about maybe an inch to inch and a half before it actually engages. That's how far you have to twist it. And once I hear that power, I can actually hold that, and it only gives about 20-30% power. The more you turn it, obviously the more power you get. And then if you hold that throttle at a single position for 3 seconds, that actually engages the cruise control. So if you just want to crawl like I am right now, hold that for 3 seconds. So cruising now at a strong 3 miles per hour. And then to take it off cruise, you just can turn it all the way or hit the brake lever. So I'm going 16, 17 miles per hour. If I release it, the power cuts off almost immediately, and then takes about a quarter to half a second for it to engage again. There's a little bit of a delay there. And the throttle does match the pedal assist level. So I have it on pedal assist level 1. The throttle fully engaged tops out at 12, 13 miles per hour. To show you the sensitivity of the pedal assist, I do have the gear set to 7, and I'm just going to casually pedal as well. So I got a flat stretch of road here, and I'm on pedal assist 1, going 12 miles per hour. Casually pedaling, I can feel some resistance isn't that bad. There's some decent resistance. If you want a burn over as you put the miles on, that's a good place to be. And if I really try to crank the wheels or the pedals, I can get a couple miles an hour faster, and you'll feel some good burning now. Pedal assist 2, casually pedaling, the same as before. Don't really, I feel about the same amount of resistance while on pedal assist 1. Now, if you don't want to have a lot of resistance, just want to keep the pedals turning and let the bike do all the work, you're going to like pedal assist level 3 if you're on a flat road. There's very little resistance at all in the pedals. Pedal assist 4 is the same resistance, basically the same as pedal assist 3. And then on 5, I really got to pick up my cadence to feel any type of resistance. And when I stop pedaling, it takes about the same amount of time it did with the throttle to cut the power. And when I start again on the 7th gear, it's about a revolution before the power kicks back on. The hill test separates the men from the mice in the bike world. It's time to see how the 750 does. Now, it does have a smaller torque rating of 68. Most bikes in this class are up to 80 Newton meters of torque, and there's no hill rating. I asked the company about that, and they said they didn't have one. Either they're worried about what it's gonna do or how it's gonna perform, or they just haven't added that to their websites. And that's why you got me. It's time to see what this thing can do. Alas, I have found a hill that is worthy of a hill test. Probably gonna be much more than this bike can handle. It is steep. I've got my device here. I'm gonna come up and measure a few spots, but it's also very rocky and gravelly. So this is probably gonna be too much for this bike, but you never know. So let me put this down at the bottom here. And we've got gentle slope, 9.6%. In the middle of it, I got 11%. Towards the top, pretty steep section here, that's over 22%. Gonna have some momentum to start with. There's a little bit of a downhill, then it goes into this very washed out ravine for a few feet, and then I start to climb. So let's see how it does. And we're off. Gonna stay in the lowest gear, pedal assist 5, and I got about just less than half a battery. Most actually gonna use throttle. It's bumpy, but I've actually got plenty of power. This is the 20%, 22% grade here, and it's easily making it up. Wow, that did a lot better than I thought it was going to. Now, I haven't gone on steeper stuff the other day when I was out here filming with my drone, and there was no hill that actually stopped me, and I hit some 30 to 35% grades. It's a workout when you get going that steep, but I'm very impressed with how much power this has for hills. Next is a brake test. The bike comes with Tektro 180 millimeter discs in the front and 160 in the rear. Let's see how smooth and how powerful they are. Okay, let me show you the brakes. Same heel, I just came up for the heel test. Get the steep part here. You got great stopping power. Wow, that's fantastic. No squeaking, no pulsating. If I just lightly press on the levers, there's no noise, which you sometimes get. And I don't have to put a lot of pressure on the levers either for them to engage. I gotta say, this little bike is really impressing me. Fantastic brakes. Okay guys, let me run you through the control pad and the screen. I do have it on already, and it actually is kind of a dimmer screen. This is on the highest brightness level, 1 through 3. Sunny day, sun's shining right on it. On the side here, on the control pad, there's a button to switch through the different readouts. The other button is the lights, and there is a headlight, and it's average brightness. It's not like crazy bright. There's also a tail light, which is nice. It's actually a nicer looking tail light, to be honest. Big old plus and minus button to change the pedal assist level, and that goes 0 to 5. If you hold down the minus button, that engages the walk assist, and it will move about 2 to 3 miles per hour, and then will stop as soon as you lift your finger off. If you hold the plus and minus button down, then you can access the screen settings, and in here you can change the brightness level like I mentioned before, reset the trip odometer. There's not a lot that you can do in the settings. The 750 comes with an IP60 waterproof rating, so it can handle some splashing and dust. It has a 1-year warranty and free shipping in the lower 48. Well, as far as customer service, they do have a warehouse in California, and it takes some, or they say it takes some 12 hours to answer any problems or emails. Well, every now and again, I get surprised by a bike, and I'm very surprised with the Rattan 750. The ride quality, just how smooth and the non-vibration that you do get with a lot of these fat tire foldable bikes, it just doesn't have it with this brand. And the range is fantastic. For 2/3 of the battery, I got almost close to 12 miles with 1,000 foot elevation gain. That's just awesome for the type of terrain that I was riding. If you do want to pick this up, I've got the link in the description. I've also got the link over to my website, electricrevolutionreviews.com. There you can find all my reviews sorted by price and capability. So if you need help choosing or finding the right bike, be sure to check that out. Hit that like button before you go, and please subscribe for the latest in electric bike, board, and scooter reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.